Beaver, away!
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Critscast's coverage of the ETF2L's 7th 6v6 Nations Cup. And tonight we've got two brilliant teams lined up head-to-head on Koth Product, followed by CP Process. Those teams, of course, are Romania versus France. France, a very, very strong national team that's currently won the last two 6v6 Nations Cups. So they're looking pretty strong at the moment, although their roster's probably completely different after all, you know, you got some very old players that were French back in the former Nations Cup, but it's a new lineup, but they're all very strong. Up against them, perhaps the underdogs will be Romania. There's a few names out there that are really standing out, such as Demos and Tavi, but it might not be so easy for them. And of course, France winning the World Cup as well, which is obviously far less important, but congratulations to them on that. Can they take the victory on the Team Fortress 2 Nations Cup? And I am joined here with not one other caster, but two tonight. We're going to have Morris, he's going to be co-casting with me today, and DuMmTm is going to be our analyst, so we're going to be hearing quite a lot of him in the post-games and pre-games. And of course, Wiethoofd on productions. But let's start off with Morris. How are you doing today? Are you looking forward to this match?
I really am. It's kind of the Ascent EU coming out, dropping out of Prem and coming into play. I'd love to see what they do today.
I mean, definitely, yeah. It's a shame that we couldn't see him more in the season 30. They did drop out, as you said. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of them, it more or less is the perfect Ascent EU roster, so therefore you think that they're going to be absolutely on fire. They're going to have great synergy. But that being said, I mean, on the Romanian side of things, Shampoo, Demos, Gotti, and Tavi have all played quite a lot together in the past on former teams. My son's team rings a bell for me, and I can imagine they're going to have some good synergy. They play a lot together. Ada, the medic, kind of rising up there, kind of playing in the mid-level. And Vlad Andre, likewise. I think kind of at the mid kind of sections, roughly. So, I mean, in terms of skill v skill, it's going to be a tough one for Romania. I don't think we're going to be... I hate to say it, but I don't think we're going to be looking at a very long and drawn-out game, unfortunately. I would have to say that... France is going to take the victory on this one pretty swiftly. But let's hear a bit from DuMmTm as well. DuMmTm, how are you today? What do you have to say about this?
Should be interesting. France coming into this as the favorite for sure. Old top 5 / Ascent EU roster won last time, pretty much, with slight changes. New additions from the not Ascent lineup are Olga and Raf here. And they are very capable on Raf, Roma, and Olga on pretty much everything he touches.
Absolutely, yeah. So let's see how they come into play as we do go live now into the 7th Nation Cup. This is the first round and the first sort of week, you could say. So still early days as France comes out onto the rollout. It's going to be Elikor on that Demoman role as we expected. He's playing on that right side at the moment, getting some good damage over. Demos as well, kind of matching it, but it's going to be Neo with the sniper frag onto Shampoo. That's going to open things up, and then Tavi goes in for the bomb, gets picked off nicely by Opti. Brilliant denial there, and Demos goes down as well, as does Vlad Andre, and that is pretty good for them. Ada did escape with her life, but they are
not yet.
Maybe not for long. She's not looking very safe here at the moment, getting beaten down with the Boston Basher. She's very, very weak. Can she get out alive? No, she can't. She's going to bleed to death there. Absolutely unfortunate. A very late death there.
That was super interesting coming out from France. They had such an aggressive mid. They had their roamer walking in through connector, just trying to get really deep, and it was all on Neo to make the headshot. That was super fun to see. There was a really aggressive product mid.
Yeah, it almost worked out for Romania as well. That jump in from Tavi may have got something. It does go down again there, but for now, France is holding on to it pretty strongly. The force does come out though by Vlad Andre, absolute legend there. Brilliant play. That's going to give Ada a small 20% advantage or so. More than enough to work off if they can utilize it correctly. Coming up now, Romania on that right side. But the aggressive playstyle of France is coming out as well as they find Gotti and Tavi. That's a scout and soldier down. Going to make things very difficult. And they managed to take a little bit of space onto grass now. But for how long though, Morris?
That was, I could see them doing it pretty easily at this point. That was really impressive. France had a strong forward hold in play. And that soldier bombing in from the attacker's right side was absolutely what broke that hold for them. That could have been absolutely disastrous for Romania. That forward hold can be a nightmare, but they're already getting ready to come into mid here. Oh, but Neo finds the body shot. This could be bad.
Very, very well played there. And my TF2 is not working at the moment here, Morris. You're going to have to keep this one going, mate.
I got it for you. Shampoo going down. Yeah, and Neo getting another headshot. All these players from Romania just absolutely going down. Ada's pretty low, trying to get out from right side. Alicorp is really aggressive, trying to find her. And she goes down to the Scout from the flank. Scout just walking in through main, getting into spawn, and gonna find Ada. And with Raf coming up on Uber at this very moment, this is gonna be tough for Romania. And Alicorp sticking up the right side as well. This might be another forward hold for France.
Yep, I am back now. Very, very well played there by France. Very aggressive, and it just doesn't seem like Romania can break that line at the moment. Trying to push up on that left side. Demos kind of taking a little bit of aggression, trying to get that damage down. They're giving them the space in the moment, but I can imagine they're going to power drive back into there when the time is right. Not losing anyone at all. They've still got that Uber on standby, and as Tabby comes in, the Uber's popped off. Tabby will be able to get out with his life, but probably not for too long there. And Ada and Demos both going down as well. So does Tabby. The Alicorp and Olga going down here. It's pretty even as actually only 2 up now. Just Neo and I think that's Zunis. And yeah, so finally they're going to be able to break that line, that French line there, and it's going to push onto the point and holding it. Now they've got to hold it very aggressive. There's only 17 seconds left for France. 1 successful push, and they probably will take this round here. So it's up to Romania now to make the decision. Are they going to try and deny them any space, or are they going to try and play comfortable? At the moment, they're taking that comfort approach there, but it don't know if it's going to work there. Is just that raw aggression as Opti actually does get picked off, but Tabby falls in return. High bomb from Vlad Andre. He's already very weak. He's now on the back lines. Getting a lot of work down there. Raf very weak, very well played. Good aggression and synergy coming out from Shampoo and Vlad Andre. Gotti does go down, and Vlad does find Raf as well. So pretty good exchange there by them, and still holding it quite well here, Morris.
Absolutely no fear from Romania, and that's what you have to do when you're playing against a sniper on product. If you play passive, that sniper is just going to pick you off. But they didn't give Neo any room to make that play. They went super aggressive right when Ascent was trying to come in, and they managed to find all the frags. And it's going to be a tough hold, but let's see what they can do against France as France tries to come back into mid.
Absolutely. The one upshot would be that Uber that they have, but they actually get it forced off. Brilliant bomb there by Zunis. Does go down, but that Uber is forced off, and absolutely the French medic, playing very, very comfortably on that cliff area. But Gotti's got something to say about it. Finds the first shot and the second, and Raf is now down along with Opti. Complete turn of events here as he finds the 3K onto Olga as well. Very nicely played there. It's just Alicorp though. He has to back out now. He cannot die. They're going to have to wait for that respawn. Looking very, very strong for Romania. I was not expecting such a turnaround.
I mean, it just kind of seems like maybe Neo is just not hitting all the shots that he could be. I mean, that's real. Oh, never, as I say that, of course, Gotti goes down, obviously. But every time. But France getting super aggressive here. Azunas going into the back line. France just needs to survive while Azunas makes a play. And he's getting aggressive now onto the demo, but he's going to go down. Demo's finding those pipes. And we really need to see Neo making a shot. If Neo's not going to hit anything, then they're basically just playing a player down. Finds a body shot in the end, but it wasn't nearly enough. Romania are hanging on to this point by the skin of their teeth. Oh, and they're actually backing off.
Absolutely, they had to back off there. They did lose their medic, and they just didn't have the heals at the time there. Vlad Andre trying to make a last-ditch effort for something, but it takes so much damage there. And now with only 5 seconds left, Tammy's going to come in with that bomb just to get a bit of time on point. Demos going to follow up with Vlad Andre, starting to get some time on point here. They're going for Alicorp here. They can't find a good bit of damage onto him as Tabby goes back into that respawn queue. They might find the point, but not until they find the Uber first, as Vlad Andre and Shampoo both get picked off. They did find Alicorp, but it's a bit too late now. Nice air shot by Zunis as well, getting Gotti, and Demos gets absolutely fragged along with Ada there. Brilliant follow-up by those scouts with that air shot. Oh my lord, absolutely incredible. And that is the first round to France, perhaps as expected, but perhaps not quite as easy as we first thought.
Yeah, Romania with a really strong hold. It was so unfortunate that France had the Uber advantage there. I think if the Uber hadn't come out, Romania was ready to go aggressive. They had control at that point. That could have been a much better fight if they just hadn't had to deal with invulnerable players. And yeah, Romania actually picking up a really strong fight here.
Actually, yeah, not too bad there. It's Azunis with that really aggressive playstyle on the connector finds Vlad Andre, the roamer, and that's the first frag. And Demos very weak as well. They have to back up a little bit, and France fully taking advantage of that. Tavi does go in with that bomb, getting some good damage onto Elika actually, but gets picked up by Opti. Brilliant communication there. And yeah, it looks like, I mean, Gotti as well going down. Opti did die as well there, but it looks like it's going to go in favor of Romania. I find that hard to believe.
These spawns are finally coming out for Ascent, but no, the Ascent has the ground here. Vlad's gonna get caught out. It's just Romania is just not playing nearly aggressively. The super aggressive style is what's been working out for Romania. They're gonna go for the exchange here. It just depends on if they get the ground. They need to treat Neo like he's not even there. They need to go super aggressive, pretend they have a pick, because if they just hang on point, yeah, Neo's gonna get that headshot into Tavi, and they're gonna have to start backing out here with Shampoo going down as well. We'll see if Opti can come in for this flank play as well, trying to get on to Ada here, but just gonna leave. Romania just needs to be a little bit more aggressive. They're sending these like big flank plays in, these big solo flank plays, and the team just isn't there to follow up on them.
No, I mean, we're seeing Vlad Andre make a lot of effort getting onto the back lines of France, but as you said, it's not getting followed up on a good trade there by Gotti. He finds the sniper. It's going to offer a little bit of space, a little bit of freedom for their medic, who has got a small advantage of about 15%. I don't know if she knows that, but they could make it work. And now that aggression's coming in, that dry push, Tavi gets caught off as well, and Neo's back up on that sniper now. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them without their soldier to try and take that aggression. They are just kind of tickling the point there, just trying to find an opening at the moment, trying to find that damage. Now Ada's going to have that Uber, and they're just sort of walking onto the point slowly. If they knew that they had this advantage, they could really make something of it. But Demos, he maybe knew, but no one else followed up on it, and Opti's going to find that frag. Demos is going to go down, no demo, no push, just Tavi falls as well, and now Opti's really in. Nice headshot onto Shampoo. Opti in that 5k as well. Vlad Andre going down, it's just Ada, and she's going to drop. Oh no. What a heartbreak. F in the chat, please.
Yes, I don't know if there was a call to go forward there, or what was going through Demos's head. He was so far forward and just fed himself into the team. He could have done exactly the same spam job, just a couple steps back, and he would have been so much safer. Demos, oh, and here comes the drop! No way.
What? I wasn't even paying attention. What actually happened, Norris?
The reflect pyro drop. I mean, that. Speaking of heartbreakers, that's the double heartbreaker. Both these teams have to be on full tilt after that play. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to say about that. That was so sad to watch.
That was embarrassing from the former two-time winners of the Nations Cup dropping to a Reflect Pyro there. Probably not the best start to their next Nations Cup, but I mean, that Pyro could be just what a Romanian needs. A little bit of a gimmick, a little bit of a change-up at the start, but if there's one player who knows Pyro, it's going to be Olga, and that is a French player at the end of the day. So if he can contest that Pyro v Pyro, we might be seeing that a little bit later on. For the moment, though, Vlad Andre and Gotti both going to go down. Opti on that flank, actually gets the Force out, but he's not going to be lasting too long there. Demos as well went down. Why are they still in here? I mean, it seems to be working though. Oh my lord, what is this? What a gimmick. Actually, Ada does go down, but that Pyro's not done yet. He might be able to get Olga. He might burn out. No, he's not, but what a play by Shampoo.
I'm not really sure what his sense strategy there was. I mean, Neo's hitting shots. Neo's getting these frags. They just have to play behind the point and let Neo scare Romania from playing forward. But they go aggressive into the Pyro. I mean, that's the whole thing. So Romania needs to be playing aggressively against the sniper. You can't do that with the Pyro, but I guess if France just feeds in anyway, it doesn't matter if you don't go aggressive.
Oh, you're quite right here, and now that aggression has come in, they've got the point there, they found Elicor and Olga. Lost a few players themselves, losing their soldiers there, but their scouts are making mincemeat of the French roster at the moment, finding so many frags. Actually, it's going to be Rav who finds like 3 swords as well. Going to make things a little bit difficult, now have a 30% advantage ahead of Ada, but they've still got that point, and they're still going to be a little bit disgruntled that they lost so many players to that aggressive scouts, and they need to make more aggressive plays like that because it's clearly working. They've got the potential. Those scouts have got the DM. They just need to really find some more aggressive openings, and they can really do wonders here as the Uber does come out here. It just gets flown, Olga getting flown into the air there, but very well played there. Ada actually finding her Uber just in time. Olga does go down, as does Azunis. A brilliant counter over, actually. Opti might not be lasting too long here. No, he doesn't. Gotti finds him, and now they're playing far more aggressive here. 1 minute 26 for them is more than doable to clutch this back.
Absolutely. I think France just kind of panicked a little bit there. Olga got absolutely rocked. He basically bombed, surfing off of a sticky trap, and the rest of France kind of panicked and tried to follow him in, but they didn't really find the positioning with the Uber, and Romania were absolutely able to clean him up with absolutely no problem at all.
Now
But France coming back in now. Let's see what they can do. Vlad going for the big bomb, but he's going to die to the pipes on point. Elikor almost carrying France here, picking up arrows, and Romania is finally going to have to leave thanks to the efforts from Elikor.
It was a lovely 3k there by Elikor, absolute pipe god, and there's a reason why he's probably one of the best demo men in Europe, nay, the world perhaps. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, there's some incredible pipe work coming out from him. They're just going to be regrouping now, Romania, trying to find a opening a little bit. They one good push, they could make this work. They still have that 20 seconds, still got enough time to try and find those frags. That's very aggressive playstyle from France, which did work in their favour last round as Shampoo and Tavi both go down, looking more and more grey in Blick for the Romanian roster. They find Elikor, but can they find players onto the point? Who knows? Uber comes out. Very well blocked there. Gotti is just going to make a beeline for the point, getting a little bit of time there, just abusing that overtime. And he's going to go down as well. Just Opti and Elikor down, and now it's just a mad rush for the point, and it's not going to be enough. Shampoo almost made it, but got instantly fragged, and that is going to make it 2-0 now to France. Into the final round, potentially. If France can take this, they will take the first map. But it just seems Romania keeps getting stronger and stronger here, Morris.
They are. They're putting in a really strong fight, and I really props to them for bringing that Pyro out again. But again, Neo's just hitting those shots, and as long as Neo's hitting every shot, Sniper has a ton of power on this map, and your Pyro just can't do anything to deal with that Sniper at all. We got bombs coming in from Romania now, but they're not really doing a whole lot. Just Vlad going in really deep. Ascent trying to, or not Ascent, France backing off to deal with these players, and they're playing a really good passive game where the rest of Romania is just not finding the space to get in. As France takes a position behind house, cleans up those bombers, and takes the point with no resistance.
First, I was pretty impressed by that aggression from Romania. They committed 2 soldiers there, but it's just as soon as those soldiers died, it was so much harder for them for Romania to actually hold on to anything. I mean, they got some good aggression and they pushed France way back. If they could have found some frags, that would have been definitely worthwhile. But as it stands, it's not looking great for them. As Gotti gets body shot down by Neo, who's been playing that sniper all game at the moment and working in their favour. Shampoo as well, getting fragged off, along with Tavi. Opti just on an absolute killing spree at the moment here. And playing that really aggressive playstyle once again on Cliff this time, Elikor and Opti. Meanwhile, on the left side, you got the rest of the combo and that sniper. And I mean, they just can't break through it. This is where France is playing at their best. Now that Pyro is going to come out to try and offer a bit of aggression and try and push the French roster back here. Vlad going down along with Tavi. To that Pyro roll, he gets found out as well. Brilliant snipes there by Neo. Olga and Opti, however, going down. But it's not going to be enough. That's almost a wipe for Romania. Just Demos and Hada now. They've got to start making some aggressive moves here. They find Azunis. Well played there. Demo 1v1 against Elikor. I mean, that is some balls from Demos there. That is some absolute balls. I would not want to take Elikor on in a 1v1, but he's done it anyway. Ubers get traded here. Still pretty stalematey. Bad, completely on the wrong side of things there, as was Shampoo. Both going to get double piped by Elikor. And surely Demos has to back away. No, he doesn't. He's stubborn. Takes a few pipes. He might be backing up now. And yes, finally he is. He's going to give up that fight, and fair play to him. I commend how long he stayed in there. But they're just wasting so much time here at the moment, Morris.
You've really got to give credit to Neo on that. When the Romanians were trying to come in, I heard at least 3 different headshots ring out. I don't think they were all kills, but an absolute ton of damage. And then in that post-Uber fight, that should have been an easy 4v1 versus Elikor there, but they just kind of backed up on the grass, and Elikor lands everything, does a ton of damage. And as the second fight comes out as well, Opti finding all the kills now too. These French players are just popping off, finding all these different frags. And there's not a whole lot Romania can do to deal with it. The Romanian team play is really strong, but as long as their DM isn't coming in, it's just not going to work out. Opti going in for the solo spawn camp as a scout, it's not going to work out for him. But this is the last call for Romania. There's only 30 seconds left on this clock. They've got this Uber advantage is just now ending, but they need to make big plays here if they want this to work out for them.
This might be their opportunity as well here. They find Azunis and their Zubers are exchanged pretty equally. Oh my god, double pipe onto Ada, but she was Ubered, but that's some insane accuracy coming out from Elikor once again. He actually does get found up by Vlad Andre. They're going to get a little bit of time to deploy, and there's some aggression coming out from Gotti. Fearless man he is. They're going to finally capture that point with 6 seconds remaining for France there. Romania have a lot to do to claw this back. I've seen people come back from worse, Morris, I really have.
Well, and callbacks to round 1, this is almost the exact same situation where there's 17 seconds left on the clock for France and a full 3 minutes for Romania. Romania managed to bring it down to less than a minute in that first round. Let's see if they can pull it off again. As France is now getting onto the point, Elikor leading the charge.
Absolutely, and neither team having that Uber yet. It is just a dry push at the moment. It's a trade onto the scouts there, Tavi for Olga. Ada, however, did go down there to a nice bomb by, I think it was Zunis, as Shampoo and Vlad are both going to get fragged. And Demos back into that respawn queue as well, along with Gotti. That is GG, or good round, I suppose, as we are only halfway there. Good map. And, I mean, 3-0 is probably what I would have expected, Morris, but not quite as close, not quite as back and forth.
No, it wasn't. I mean, and that's the thing about Product. You can have a close game be a 3-0. I would say every one of those rounds was closer than I was really expecting out of Romania here. And to be fair, I'm an NA player. I don't know these. The only players I really know are the ones from that, from Ascent and Prem last season. But considering I don't really recognize a whole lot of these Romanian players, really good games coming out. I mean, every single fight could have gone either way. It really came down to Neo on that sniper landing so many headshots. And I would love to see the logs here because those headshots from Neo were incredible. And he was really holding down the fort for his team.
Absolutely was. And yeah, we can see the logs, the proofs in the pudding. 16 headshots, 399 damage a minute. That is the, almost highest, other than the Demomen. And Elikor pounding 474, that is insane. 18-9 as well. I kind of got to shed a tear a bit for Demos there. He's actually getting the damage in, but he's not getting the frags, unfortunately. 409 DPM, but only 5 kills and 10 deaths. So it's one of two things. Either he's not calling his damage, or his players aren't following up on it. Either way, it must be very frustrating to be hitting such high damage numbers and just not really getting the highest. He got almost the lowest kills, joint lowest with Tavi, in fact. But yet to have the second highest damage must be very, very frustrating. And next on that damage, as I said, Neo with that 399 DPM, 20-7. Very, very few deaths, in fact. Some of the lowest deaths, along with Olga. And that's just, he was basically alive just most of the time, only dying a few times every round. Just had sort of that whole kind of point being sort of scoured by his sniper rifle, and made it very hard for the push there. Opti 28-14 as well. There's not really too much to say about these Morris, but maybe you can go into depth about the Romanian team and any sort of standout fraggers there.
Demos was doing a really good job getting a ton of damage in, but that's kind of the thing with Product Demo. You kind of have to get a whole bunch of damage. You're taking most of the heals. You're almost always in a team fight. It's honestly hard not to get good stats as a Demo on Product. That's the thing. The Romanian soldiers, it was Tavi who was like 5 and 21. That's a tough ask. That's just. If your soldier bombs aren't getting anything done, and you're dealing with a sniper, really if you're not going to counter snipe, your only real option to deal with that sniper are your counter bombs. So if Tavi wasn't able to get in and wasn't able to find Neo, that explains a heck of a lot about what was going on with the French holds, where, Romania just had so much trouble getting in. It didn't really seem like anybody was able to stand on Romania. They had good team fights. When they were able to aggress together, fights tended to work out. They were shooting the same targets, but ultimately I think it just comes down to straight up DM. All these French players are seasoned premiership veterans, and it's hard to say the same about Romania.
It is an awful shame there. You can tell the synergy's there, and they're pushing at the right times sometimes. But I completely agree with you there. It is a matter of DM, and Elikor takes the cake in that case. I think we will go on to the next map now, as we almost have all the players in on this process. And I have to apologise at this point for kind of not bringing in our our analyst here. So maybe while we have just like a few minutes, DuMmTm, sorry man, I'm not used to having an analyst on standby here. Could you quickly give us a little snapshot of your interpretation of those matches?
I think it got mildly touched on in the game, but there was like very different ideas on how to play that map. France was much more like defensive, structured, and their experience together showed a lot in terms of how much they knew what each other were doing. And just the defenses were really strong, and it really needed somebody to mess up for Romania to really get an opening. Once they had it, their aggression was really good, and that was what they wanted to focus on. But France's hold both on point with the sniper and forward as well, besides the one moment where the Pyro got like insanely lucky. These holds were really strong, didn't let too much through, and Romania had to work really hard to get any good openings, to get these like fights where they actually got stuff done. Then in the end, that was like a really, really big difference. Other than that, we mentioned it, Neo Sniper, he took a little bit to properly get warmed up, but that tends to be the case with him, unfortunately. But once he's there, he's just hitting everything, and it really showed it put up such a big trouble for Romania later on in the game. And
I mean, you had to see, like, Neo was getting, like, he got, like, 3 headshots in one fight at one point. I mean, that's just, what do you do against that?
Yeah, which is strange, because, like, the first round, he, like, barely hit anything, and then, like, second round, third round, he just absolutely destroyed them. And the mid-fights were also kind of weird, because they started somewhat alright for Romania, but, like, the second and third one was just, like, really scattered. The bombs just, like, from the Saudis really not well coordinated at all, and individually, both these Holos have done some plays that game, but the difference together was just apparent compared to the French soldiers.
Thank you.
This is the real... Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes, and I promise to have you a little bit more in this upcoming map process as we do go live now. And this is the first round, Nations Cup 7 for anyone tuning in. France taking the first map of product in a 3-0, now on process. Will they be able to do the same? As both teams hit the mid, Vlad is playing on that flank roll, maybe getting ready for a jump that has to back off. The aggression is coming out from France quite nicely there. Vlad getting completely denied, Shampoo going down. They did lose Elikor and the medic, in fact, though. So this could be a win, perhaps, for Romania if they can make it work, but they still have to deal with those scouts. They do lose Ada and Tavi as well. And Gotti, actually, on the cleanup, finding Olga and Neo. And that is a wipe, and thus it is a win for Romania. Perhaps all they need to get them back on track, Morris.
It really could be. I mean, I would just call that, you know, obviously Romania played well. You get the wipe, you have to be doing something right. But I'd call that more of an unfortunate series of decisions from France. They kind of split themselves up across the point, and they gave Romania the chance to just flood the flank and find 2 frags before anything else had really happened. France just, I don't really, they usually are more coordinated than that. They've been playing together for a long time. Olga's going for the sack now, but I would really hope that they would be doing some team plays as opposed to just kind of messing around in the flank.
Absolutely, I don't really know why they had to.
No, you don't.
Had to sack there as well. I mean, Ada didn't have that Uber. Now it's another wipe, and I don't know what's really going on at the moment for France. Whether this is just a little bit of, I don't know, maybe giving Romania a little bit of courage, a little bit of ego, because they're going to take the first round. It's got to be a pity round there. Or maybe I'm really, you know, patronising the Romanian roster here. Maybe this is the map for them. Maybe process is where they were born to play and win, and they're just a very, very strong process team here. You never really know. As we go into the second round now, maybe we're seeing a little bit better coordination from France. As wow, that was a really fast roll out there from the French Roma, Zunis, and yeah, they're getting very, very good time on point on the high ground. They find Vlad, Andre, and Tavi as well. Olga does go down. They've got that damage in this point. Ada very, very weak. Another bomb. Gotti finding those 2 frags, but they're going to keep it going. They are very, very aggressive at this point. They don't want to give Romania any more rounds. Quite rightly so. They're going to take that first midpoint, second midpoint, I should say, with both medics alive. I mean, fairly well redeemed by Romania, I should say, but good aggression finally from France.
Yeah, they finally played together on the point. And they had some really good bombs coming out from Olga and Azunis, making all the space and ultimately all the difference as well. The rest of Romania was just kind of gathered up in front of sewer, and that low ground in front of sewer is so dangerous if you're on your inside of the point. It's so easy to get bombed, and the soldiers from France were absolutely cleaning house in that mid, and Romania just couldn't deal with it.
No, absolutely. They've had to back up though. I mean, the saving grace would be Ada surviving. Now with those equal Ubers, we have got a bit of a 6 stalemate here. Nothing too new or unexpected on a map like Process. That double bomb in from France, we could be seeing something. First rocket onto Ada. The second one, she's very, 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 very weak. But fairly well played there. She's going to get out with her life and was very adamant about not popping there. So mad respect to her. She does find a bit of a roller though. Still quite weak there, but she's going to cling onto that Uber. And France is going to have to back off. They only lost to Zunis in that. Olga somehow got out. No idea how. Demos putting down a bit of damage, but for the most part, they're just taking it slow. I think they're going to try and find the right opportunity. We might be seeing some off-class at some point. Yes, we are. Olga's going to be coming up on that sniper. Try and find a frag there. He's an absolute off-class king on a map like Process. We've seen him on Pyro so many times, really changing up the meta, you could say, a little bit in the European scene. And they've just realised there's no time limit, but I don't think that should change anything. And Olga finds Tavi. I don't know whether they are just sort of waiting until they fix the time limits or if they're going ahead, because they did find that frag there. It looks like they're trying to fix it next round though. So Tavi does go down. But Demos finds Neo. That's a good trade there at the moment. But I mean, what do you think Romania can do, Morris? They haven't really tried to make any plays at the moment. They're just sitting here. What can they do?
Well, they do need to do something more than nothing. They're not really even... They finally backed up behind the Spire. But even after Olga got that first frag, they were so far forward. They were just peeking corners. Like, it didn't matter at all. They're really lucky that Olga didn't find another headshot here. At this point, I mean... You don't have a whole lot of options, right? You can't really sack players in because you're on your own second. You have a lot to lose if you start losing players, and it's also kind of dangerous to send a scout back to go to sniper. That's what I'd prefer to do personally, but I think you just need to be ready to lock down these chokes and play your medic in a good passive position, and that's what they're doing right now. They're just hoping that France messes up and they're able to find the frag, and it might be Opti on this back porch area, going to get picked up by Shampoo and Gotti. So hopefully Romania find the room to send in a sack and actually get some plays going here, as opposed to just waiting for the sniper to find them.
And they really have to. They can't just sit here for the next 25 minutes or so. But it seems like they're not too eager at the same time. I mean, Vlad Andre could make... He's made some good bombs on product. So I don't know why he wouldn't try and risk it here. They had, like I say, they found that frag. Are they just going to wait for Olga to keep on sniping until he finally finds something? He really needs to... I think Romania really needs to take a bit more initiative if they're going to actually take some momentum here and make a risk at the end of the day. They're still a round up. I mean, they could sit here for 25 minutes. They could do it. But would it work in their favour? Probably not. Vlad getting traded with Opti there. But nothing's going to really come of that, except their flank might be a little bit more open. And we can see, I believe that's Zunis in the PC area. He's actually snuck behind. No one watching. He's in a good position now. He's back all the way in lobby. And meanwhile, the front lines, Tavi goes down, so now not looking good for Romania. No one has noticed Zunis, and Demos going down. Brilliant headshot there by Olga. And now the map we're in, and that is a drop, Morris, and this is not looking good for Romania.
That's the thing. I mean, if you're dealing with a sniper, I mean, if you're not going to do anything, you might as well just leave second. If you're just going to let this... the sniper will hit something sooner or later. I mean, if you're in Prem or if you're in Open, eventually something's going to happen. And France just, they managed to catch out the players from Romania. They're in on last with this Uber now as well. Oh no, there's 3 players left versus the entirety of France. I mean, you can't just wait on your own second. You have to try to make some kind of play. They even had the opportunity to make a sack, and they didn't go for it. And if you just I mean, you have a good player like Olga going for the snipe, eventually it's going to happen. And between Romania not being careful enough with their flank, players getting in behind, that was doomed to be a failure for Romania.
Absolutely there. It's only a matter of time. And now we're into the third round, 1-1 at the moment. Some more aggression coming in from the French team on the right flank. high bombs back and forth, but Zunis and Elikor both going down along with Raf, and actually it's going to be Vlad Andre that finds 2 frags. Shampoo following up onto the next one. So very, very good aggression and DM coming out from Romania. Perhaps unexpected. Holger's the only one surviving there. He's going to back out into the sewer area. He's going to have that 1v1 against Shampoo. He's going to lose it. So Holger's still up and running. And finally goes down to the Gotti and Demos combo there. It's a very, very good position at the moment for the Romanian roster here, but the Uber does come out very, very early and they do lose their demo. They're probably not going to be able to take this into last either, and now Raf's going to have that 30% add. High bomb in from Azunis. Opti did go down, however, but they are backing out, and I'm not really too sure why. I guess the lack of a demo man is going to make this difficult.
I love these confident plays from France. No, I'm not trying to harsh on Europe or anything, but it feels like you guys are usually known for some more passive play, and it's so fun to see France. I mean, they get the demo frag, and even though they've traded out their own frags, they know there's no sticks, and they can get into rollout almost for free, and they just take that ground absolutely, completely confident. And they're even going to take it in the mid here with only a 30% advantage, going right through IT, and let's see what they can find.
And it's looking very, very good, and it is absolutely minced there. Elikor does go down in the process, but that's a good trade. And Shampoo as well does get found out by Opti's pistol, and yeah, very, very well exchanged. And yeah, good aggression. I really respect that. You're absolutely right. I mean, we prefer the term methodical plays, but you're completely right. We are passive, we are scared, and it's nice to see a change in the meta, as it has done a little bit recently. I mean, it's maybe I-58, and it was a couple of years ago now, and it was so stale. It would be 15-minute stalemates, such slow, methodical plays. You'd just be watching the spy for about 10 minutes as he just slowly shuffled to the right situation, waiting for any given moment, and then they go off it. But they are not taking that approach. Gotti on that heavy, on that off class, he's going to get absolutely minced. And the sentry gun's going to go down, but it's fairly well played by Romania. Very, very passive there. They only exchange their heavy. Ada does go down in the completely wrong position. I don't know what she thought she was doing there. And they are finding the frags. Vlad Andre finding Azunis. It's up to Shampoo though, and he can't take them all on. He finds Neo, but it's not enough. And that's going to make it 2-1 for France. But Romania on these mid-fights, we could be seeing a change of pace here, and they're definitely giving France a run for their money.
Well done from the French team. That was looking incredibly dangerous there for quite a while. They had 4 different players that were in the red, but they had the high ground. Romania wasn't quite able to find the right place to fight France from, and France was just able to find those frags. Romania not really playing as well together as they could have on that last fight.
No, absolutely not. They could have taken a little bit more aggression. They kind of kited the Uber, the enemy Uber, quite well, but they didn't make enough of it. Nice little pick there onto Opti, onto Vlad Andre, I should say, sorry. Double pipes from Elikor is going to make this very, very hard for Romania to redeem, and in fact, it's just going to be Demos who survives, and they want to find him as well. And it's going to be Neo who might be up for the challenge. So he goes with that 1v1 and absolutely demolishes Demos there. That is a wipe then, and a very, very bad situation for Romania, who are just respawning now, and France already kind of spawn camping them and locking off those doors. That's going to take a miracle to reclaim this round.
They haven't quite, they're just now finishing off the second cap though, so a lot of these Romanian players are going to come up. There's no Uber unfortunately though, and this French Uber is going to take the victory for France. And really nothing Romania could have done there. Really strong play coming up from the French squad. I mean, you lock down those spawn doors, it's so hard to get out. They have the demo there. There's really not a whole lot you can do trying to come out.
As we go into the fourth, whichever round it is. Morris, you want to take this one away?
I'd love to, especially with Neo on the sniper. It'll be interesting to see if he managed to get anything done in this mid. He was doing so much on product, and let's see if he can follow it up on process. Elikor deep on this left side. Vlad Andre getting deep as well. These big soldier bombs coming in from Romania, getting a ton done. Tavi going down, unfortunately, in the end. Lots of damage coming up from these Romanian soldiers, but not actually finding the frags. Neo gonna find the body shot into Vlad Andre. And now taking another peek. Romania trying to stay in, but Abgadi's gonna go down as well. And a really good effort coming up from Romania, but France and Neo in particular is going to take that mid for the squad. Elikor going in for big bomb as well, but going to get taken out by the scout. Oh, and Neo finding poor Demos. Nothing he could do there. That was almost looking like it could be a hold, but Demos is getting absolutely wrecked by this Neo sniper, and Olga going to find a frag on Tavi as well in lobby. Really strong from France. Romania managed to hold on to Ada, and they're getting the off classes here, but this still could be extremely dangerous if Neo managed to find another headshot.
It wouldn't surprise me at this rate. He's absolutely turned up big time, just making absolute shredding Romania. I mean, they're going to try and push in. On this right side, they find Vlad Andre pretty quickly. He does trade with the Zunis, and they pretty unable to get that sentry down on the other hand, so they're going to have to back this out as Shampoo does go down, but the Uber is exchanged in lobby by Romania. Finds Raf. Nice pipes there by Demos. He finds Opti as well, and they want to keep this going. They surely have to. They've got the opportunity here to keep this going. If they can just deal with Elikor as well, he's got 9 health. I don't think anyone is going to be able to find him there. Finally goes down to a nice little roller by the Iron Bomber of Demos there. Zunis finding Tavi, and they've maybe lost their opportunity now to make this push here. Shampoo's going to make the best of it, but it might be hard.
It's Demos making a big plays in lobby there, and there was definitely some communication issues going on with France. Demos had strong control of that lobby area, and Raf just thought that his team was there, just kind of wandering in the lobby, wanted to see what was going on, walks into Demos's face and takes a pipe, and that's going to wind up being the mid. It's got to be the mid for Romania here, as they're coming up on 80%. France is still playing aggressive, trying to find some space for Neo, but Tavi's going to bomb him out and actually get picked up in choke. So France maybe not being as perfect as they were before, but even with this Uber advantage, Romania is down 2 players, just kind of feeding on the flank and in choke, and they're going to be on their own last. See if this Uber is not going to be big enough for them to even come back on in a second here. So a really good opportunity for Romania, absolutely wasted.
Such an awkward bomb from Tavi as well. There's really no need for it, and then Demos going down was just the finisher for them holding onto it. They find Elikor. However, without any Ubers being used just yet, so they are pressuring lobby a little bit. Romania pushing him a bit, but they have to deal with both the French scouts, which is something you never want to do in lobby, especially when it's Opti and Olga there. But Zun is just going to jump straight in, finding Shampoo, and Ada going to go down as well. Demos too, it's almost a wipe, and they can take this so easily, but they're just going to wait on it. They're really milking this as best as they can, and finally they're going to do it. Running it to a 4-1. And do you think that Romania's got any chance of clearing this back now, Morris?
It's tough. There's, 14 minutes left? It's doable. It's really tough, but it's doable, especially with France still on the sniper for this next mid. If they get really aggressive, it's absolutely possible for them to find the plays. I'm not really sure what happened in that last hold, though. I think Ada had Uber. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not really sure why Tashi would have dropped there. I don't know, just some questionable stuff coming out from Romania, and they might be tilted at this point. And if they are already tilted, this is going to be bad for them. We got Tavi going in aggressive now. Romania flooding this left side. This Ascent, French roster is really gathered together, and that could have been really good aggression from Romania if the rest of the team had been there. But they only sent in 1 soldier, and they kind of they tried to play it together, but they wound up just kind of feeding in one by one. And it's going to be a mid for France. At this point, I have doubts about Romania's ability to claw this one back. We've got Zunis coming in deep, Gotti really low, Ada's in alone. Why is Ada the most forward player on the team? She's going to go down now too, and that's got to be the last nail in the coffin. Another drop from Ada.
Right. It's so that was such a heartbreak to see Ada just so far forward when the rest of the team was backing out. She should have been the first one out there, and they could have maybe held on to it if they could have found a frag as they were backing out, perhaps an overextending scout or something, but as it goes, Ada's going to be the one that falls, and Ada's the one that overextends there. Vlad Andre does go down. Shampoo finding that frag onto Olga, and Opti as well going down, and that Uber's going to come out onto Elikor, and if they can make something of it, then they could hold on to this, but it's not going to be easy, as Shampoo does go down to Elikor there, and they're getting the damage in, and Gotti goes down along with Tavi, and now the point is theirs for the taking, and take it they will not. as they are very slow on it, but finally they're going to do it, turning it into a 5-1 there. They're definitely milking it as long as they can. They're definitely kind of, I think, giving Romania a little shot, a little bit of redemption perhaps, just to make a play of it, but they can't find an opening at all at this rate.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. You can see the tilt coming out from Romania. Ada, instead of healing her players, was going for the frags, which is really tough to find on Medic. So Romania has maybe given this one up at this point. They're not really feeling the fight. Yeah, these French players. I think these French players have just kind of stopped respecting Romania, and they're going mega aggressive. Azunas and Opti in the enemy choke, finding all the frags. No one from France is down yet. There's a couple players in the flank from Romania, but Alicor going low, but is going to hit every pipe. And at a certain point, it's just, if your DM isn't there, you can play as well together as a team as you want, but you're just not going to win any fights. And with Neo continuing to hit so many headshots, yeah, poor Romania. Poor Romania. Putting up a good showing, but not going to quite show up all the way.
I mean, this is further than I thought that they'd ever get. They managed to claw at least one round, which is, I think, more than anyone was expecting. And again, as you said, a close match of product, which, again, more than we thought would actually happen here. And we are basically in dead time now, I suppose. This is definitely going to be the win for France. Here we go in 3-2-1, and that is the win for France in a 6-1. At least they got that round. Romania, fair play to them. Doing a lot better than we expected. But at the end of the day, you just can't beat that Ascent EU roster. They have the synergy, they have the DM, they all have the Prem experience. It's something that Romania's team just don't have, unfortunately. It's just Demos and maybe at a push, Gotti and Shampoo, maybe Tavi, but a lot of them haven't played for a while. They're a bit washed up, perhaps. Demos probably the only current Romanian player there that could probably handle Prem, and those soldiers, Vlad Andre, Ada as well, just simply lacking that DM and that experience, have any contest against the French roster. But congratulations to France for taking the first win in the first round here. Yeah, we will pass it on to our analyst now, DuMmTm. So what do you have to say about what happened there?
I made myself a little rundown here of stuff that happened, and every single time something bad happened to France, I feel like it happened again, and they just always rectified their mistakes. It's obviously the game started pretty terrible for them, that has to be said, but I think they just wanted to shift gears between the different paces they had this game compared to the last one a little bit too quickly, and wanted to play more aggressively, which they eventually found a balance with after all. But it started like a car crash in the first round, and Romania was able to just walk over it. But eventually they found a little bit more of a balance there. The stalemate probably helped with that, even forced them to not go that fast right away. And it just went better and better from there. The stalemate as well is a nice point to touch on, because they played this really smart. First they just wanted to have Opti just sack in randomly, it seemed, from Sua, I believe, and then they tried from the other side. And immediately after he traded out a kill, Azunas was there to just take the space he made, get behind, distract, and the sniper plays came from there. Really well done off of that. And other than that, we had two different occasions where they on France went right side on mid in this little weird corner, and the first time they got completely wiped. They had no chance. Second time, after one mid between, where they finally decided to put Neo on sniper again, which he was at that point clearly warmed up on. They decided to just play passive right side again with a sniper, and the scout much better positioned on the high ground to just deny the jumps that were still coming in, trying to do the same as the first time around, and just crush Romania's dreams to repeat the same mistakes on France's part. And the adaptation was really nice to see.
And especially looking at these stats, I mean, was that the only mid that that Romania really managed to win? I'm only seeing one cap here for Romania on second. So even when they did manage to win mid, they were never quite able to convert that into another point. It's just these French squad is so well together. I mean, you got to consider, not only does French squad have more Prem experience, they've got that Prem experience playing together. I mean, this is I kept on accidentally saying Ascent during the cast. I mean, this is basically the Ascent roster. They've been playing together really well, and they've been playing together for so long. There's really just not a whole lot that Romania could do.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially once France stopped. I think that was a big part of what was happening in those first couple rounds, was that France was expecting a lot from Romania. It seemed like there was a lot of really awkward passive play, not really going for the big plays. But once France stopped respecting the Romanian DM and they started taking these fights in, they started winning everything.
Yeah, and on the point of the cohesion that they have as a team, with this like at least 3 people core played forever in ages, and the others also played together in some form or another before. The one like really good like classic last push we had, there were a couple of weird ones, but the one classic one we had in round 4 or something like that, France pushed in from left lobby with Uber like you would expect, on not really any advantage. I think that was the one where Ada dropped in the end. They had this pretty standard but good push, just starting left side, pushing in with the combo, walking over the heavy, getting the sentry like you would expect, off classes down. That's optimal case in that point. But normally you do these kind of pushes on advantage, so you don't have to deal with an enemy Uber, but there was still one. And then a really nice executed double bomb by both of the Solis Olga as soon as came out of the France team, and just really took them by surprise as soon as with this dying breath salvages into even a drop. But at that point, a force would have even been great, because everybody was well positioned, like you mentioned as well at the time. Just really nicely taking the position, and everybody just really played pretty well of each other. And that's a high standard to have for a Nations Cup, where a lot of teams don't have this sort of synergy.
I mean, these are all basically mixed teams. I mean, especially on that last hold that you were mentioning, not only did Ada wind up dropping that Uber, but she'd already dropped most of her team before before she ever actually dropped the Uber. And it's just a sign, like, sometimes when you're playing with a mixed team, I mean, if you're not expecting the play to come out, then you're not there to support it. And some of the Romanian players, tried to get really aggressive to force that French Uber off early, and the rest of them played super far back, trying for a more passive approach, maybe hoping to just kind of kite out the French Uber. But whatever their plan was, those two halves of players didn't have the same plan. And I think that's a big thing in TF2. Like, even if you're making the wrong call, regardless of whether being aggressive or passive on that last hold was the right play, you need your team to commit. Even if you're making a less than optimal play, if all 6 of you can commit to doing the same thing, it's much more likely to work out. And instead, Romania just kept on getting caught. I mean, even on second, even on mid, they would just get caught out in these awkward positions away from the team. And France knew exactly what to do with those lonely players. To take them out, and especially too, Neo hitting all these headshots. That was just hard.
Yeah, France's DM was on point today, and it really showed in these icy fights that every once in a while happened. And with that, they're gonna definitely stay a favorite in this tournament. I look at some of the other like really strong-looking teams, England, Germany. I don't know, between Italy and Wales. Italy is missing some players at the moment, and Wales should be able to take it by us. Israel is looking strong. Czech Republic, possibly. Scotland, maybe. Denmark, Sweden, France as well, obviously. Finland has a couple of strong teams, and France is setting a strong precedent among these top teams today.
Well, especially you mentioned Israel. That's basically a Div 1 team. That's Foreskin.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, exactly the lineup with obviously a few more backup players now available to them as well.
So then I guess the question I pose for both of you then is, what are your predictions for the who's going to take the victory? Will France take their third title in a row, or who do you think is going to have it in them?
I think there still needs to be some improvements here and there. Ralph is not a medic main that showed every once in a while, not too massively, but there was some stuff where he just was a little bit mispositioned at times, and I don't know what's up with Ombrek if he just really can't play. Let's assume that Ombrek
will be available for
most
of the time.
It wasn't a huge setback, especially given the difference of teams we had here in this matchup. But in the closer matchups, they want to obviously have a medic. They have so many soldiers. Whoever is missing on one day, they have like 10 more to replace them. So in that regard, it shouldn't be a problem in the soldier department. They have the caliber. Obviously, needs to step up a little bit, but they have the caliber to definitely make it up there again and bring in the second national victory for them this year after the World Cup.
Absolutely there, and I've got to say that I think France are coming in strong here. I don't think that they are probably as strong as previous Nations Cups. You're missing out on a huge pool of talent. T-Mac, Bull, Nico, just to name a few, for example, Flippy as well. And so the lack of those players, who were probably some of the best players I think some of the best we've just ever seen in TF2 period, it's going to make things not quite as easy as the previous Nations Cups here, but at the end of the day, you've still got the top 5 Rocket lineup, the Ascenti, whatever you want to call them. So we could be seeing a third win for them. But I suppose, I mean, that's the teams that are up there. That'll be up to another caster on another day to go into more depth about them, as I think we should probably wrap it up at this point here. So before we do, though, just a few things I'd like to shout out. Stay tuned for Critscast Highlander Prem qualifiers on the Thursday. So what's that? 2 days from now. Make sure you check that out. It's going to be Weed Cake Sellers up against Envision. It's going to be a close lineup, and the winner of which will go into the Prem Highlander Season 16. And more Nations Cups will be being casted on Critscast and on Team Fortress TV. So stay tuned for both of those. And just before we go, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast with you, Morris, and it's been brilliant having DuMmTm here on that analyst role, because he has said so much stuff that I didn't have a clue about. So thank you both. Have you got any shout-outs before we wrap this up?
Just everybody stay tuned for the Nations Cup. There's a lot more games to come. I think tomorrow are a bunch of matches, so stay tuned here on Critscast and TFTV, and whoever else might decide to just stream their POV on their personal stream, because there's so many games tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I checked, there's like 5-6 different games that we definitely can't cast them all, but we'll definitely try to cover the best ones we can find, and just stay tuned for that.
All right, and Morris, any shouts?
I do want to shout out Wiethoofd for, not only the excellent production today, but walking me. This was my first cast today, and really want to appreciate, thank you so much for giving me little hints, letting me know what to expect, and walking me through the whole process. So thank you so much to Wiethoofd, and I'd also like to shout out my boy Coffin Filler for, for being a Coffin Filler. I love you, Coffin. Other than that, I'm good to go.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much, DuMmTm and Morris, and thank you for watching Critscast, covering a little bit of sixes, maybe not what you'd expect from us, but hey ho. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys again shortly. Take care and bye bye.
Hi, old beaver! Away!